Already going, Scotty.
Thank you. Of course.
All right, everybody, we are going to get started. Not sure why this display is not working, but I just emailed all of you to your school email this PowerPoint that I'm going over. It's only like 10 slides. I have it on this computer. For some reason, I can't project it right now. But so that just means I need you to pay attention for the next 15 minutes. I'm going to cover some really important information. And then if you need to go back and check anything, like I said, I just sent it to your school email. Okay? You have 2 days of school left. Pretty awesome. 2 days of school for all of you that are graduating in May. You will be done after that. All right, some important dates that you still need to know in the next couple days. Today is the last day to turn any work in for any class that you need to pass for May graduation. Okay? If you can't get everything in today, you will not participate in May graduation. That's okay. I'm going to go over what that means for you here in a few minutes. On Wednesday is your last official day at Hoover. Okay? You do not come to school on Thursday unless you need to fill out your checkout sheet. But on Wednesday is your last day here at Hoover. I've already had some students ask me, do you need to come to school tomorrow? Do you need to come to school on Wednesday? All I tell you is we take attendance. So if your family expects you to be here, I would show up. But if they are okay with you not coming, that is totally okay. You do not need to be here. All right? On Friday, you do need to be at school. The beginning of the day, 8 o'clock, we're going to have a breakfast in the main gym. We'll do like a senior celebration kind of thing. And then at 9 o'clock, you don't have to come to the breakfast, but you do need to be there at 9 o'clock for graduation rehearsal. Okay? There's going to be chairs set up in the main gym, just like it will look like at the Knapp Center. You will find your seat, and we'll practice what graduation is going to look like. Basically, you know, when you go up and get your name read, how we walk into the Knapp Center, how we walk out of the Knapp Center, we'll practice those things. At the very end, you will get your cap and gown. We'll put those on, and then we'll walk through Hoover and Meredith. We should be done about 10:30, and then you are done here at Hoover for your career. Okay, so those are the important dates you need to know here at Hoover this week. The last one, of course, is graduation is this Sunday. You all need to be there at 9 o'clock. Okay, I am going to go to the Knapp Center like on Wednesday, and I'll take a video of where you go in, where you get ready and things like that. And I'll send that to you and to your families. But just know that you show up at the Knapp Center at 9 o'clock at a place called the Bell Center. It's right next to the stadium. It's in the same building as the Knapp Center, but you should see where people are going in, okay? Your family should show up at 9 o'clock too, because that's when the doors open, right? Things you need to know for rehearsal. Once again, you must be there by 9 o'clock. The reason that is so important is because we have everybody in order of where you're supposed to sit alphabetically, okay? If you do not come, then I'm going to take your card and I'm going to say, all right, Helton must not want to participate in graduation, so I'm just going to move him so that we don't have a bunch of gaps, okay? Otherwise it looks weird. If Helton then comes and says, no, Mr. Fry, I do want to walk, that's fine. He's still going to be able to. He's just going to be at the end of the alphabet. Okay, so you wouldn't normally be with the S's. He'll be down at the end of the alphabet. So if you don't show up at 9, it's not the end of the world, but you just won't sit where you normally would sit alphabetically. Okay, because it's just too many people to move around. Like I said, 8 o'clock, we'll have a breakfast in there. We'll have a senior celebration. I invite you all to come to that, but you don't have to. But that starts at 8, and we'll start the rehearsal at 9 o'clock. One of the things that we'll practice is you will have a note card on your seat with your name as it's listed in Infinite Campus. Okay? you will hold on to that card because that is what your counselor is going to read when they announce your name at the NAP Center. If your name is difficult to pronounce, that will be the time that Mr. Dean or Ms. Levang or Ms. Stribling will write down how to pronounce your name, and they'll practice it so that they read it correctly when you cross the stage. That's also the time, like if you go, let's say your name's Jonathan, and you want to be announced as John, you will let them know that as well too, okay? It's up to you and your family what you get announced as. On your diploma, it has to be your legal name. Okay, so whatever is in Infinite Campus, that is what's going to be on your diploma. What they read as you cross the stage, that is up to you and your family. Okay. You will get your cap and gown when we are done with rehearsal. You cannot get your cap and gown until you are done with your checkout sheet. You are going to get your checkout sheet here in a little bit, but you will not be able to participate in the graduation walk with the cap and gown until you have that filled out, which means making sure that all your classes are good, checking out with your counselor, making sure your fees are paid, that your computer's turned in. All of that stuff has to be done before you're able to get your cap and gown. If you are not graduating in May and you ordered a cap and gown, I can still give it to you, like you paid for it, it's yours to keep, but then it's your responsibility to hold on to it until summer graduation, okay? A lot of people have me hold on to them so that they don't lose them or it doesn't get damaged, but that's totally up to you. You can get that on Monday, so a week from today, if you are going to do summer graduation, okay? And then if you are not done with your checkout sheet and you show up on Friday, we're going to have you do your checkout sheet first before you participate in rehearsal. So that means that you will be at the end of the alphabet if you do not get your checkout sheet done before Friday. So my suggestion to you is when you get your checkout sheet at the end of this meeting, you just start doing that today. There's going to be a part where you have to talk to each of your teachers. I would just do that today and tomorrow so that it's all knocked out, okay? That has to be done before you get your cap and gown. All right, some info about graduation. You must be there at 9 o'clock. The ceremony does not start until 10, but we want you there at 9 so that you can make sure that everything looks good. You're going to get a medallion there as well. You're going to sit back in order of where you sat in rehearsal. And then we have a few things to get ready before the ceremony starts at 10. Please tell your family, your people, your friends, show up at 9 o'clock. There are about 500 less seats at the NAP Center. They did some redesign stuff, and so they lost some seats. You can bring as many people as you want. There's not like a limit of you can only bring 5 people or something like that. You can bring as many people as you want, but especially if you want them to sit together, it's really important that they show up early, okay? I'm guessing with the amount of graduates that we have that we'll have plenty of seats, but maybe not together if your family wants to sit together. The ceremony will be live streamed. I already sent that link out to your families. I'll also send it to you, but if you have people that live across the country, can't come back, whatever, it will be live streamed. I believe it's also like on there forever, so you can go back and watch the ceremony afterwards if you would like. But that will be available to your families. And then the last thing to know is our ceremony is at 10 o'clock, and then North, I think, is at 1. And so once our ceremony is done, we cannot go back out there. You can't like take pictures with your family on the stage or anything like that. Drake has to get ready for North's graduation, so they don't allow people to go back out. So you'll have to meet your family out front. Okay? The weather should be nice, so that should be fine. You just can't get any pictures taken like on the stage or anything like that. I also say that because every once in a while there's people that want to throw their hat in the air. that's cool. Just know that you can't go back out there, and so like throw it up just to yourself so you catch it before we walk out. You can do that, but just like hucking it across the stage, probably not a good idea because you can't go back out to get it. All right. Any questions about the graduation ceremony? Okay. There should be plenty of parking. We are the first ceremony on Sunday, so you can park all around Drake. There's parking in the presentation that I'm going over right now. There's actually like a picture that shows where all the parking lots are at. You can take a look at that. There's construction just to the east, so there's like not as much parking there, but there should still be plenty of parking, especially since we're the first one of the day. Okay, but that means it's even more important. Show up at 9 o'clock. As you know, the earlier you get there, the better. Please be there at 9 o'clock. I feel like I've said this like 5 or 6 times already, but I'll keep saying it. Either at 9 o'clock. If you have cords or medallions or anything that you earned like at senior awards, please wear those. We will not have extra ones there. So like if you got a silver cord, don't forget that at home. I'm not going to have any extra ones to give you there. So bring all that with you. You don't have to have your gown zipped up when you get there. You will when we go out for the ceremony. Okay? You'll get a medallion there. There will be some of your teachers that are there helping with that to get those all passed out to you. Once again, if you are late, like let's say you show up at 10:05, you can still participate in the ceremony. You're just going to be at the end. Okay? Usually about 9:30, I'll have you get to your seat so that I can see, all right, who are we missing? And then if Trinity's not there, I'm going to say, hey, can anybody text Trinity, make sure that she's coming or something like that, so that we can get people there as soon as possible. But I really stress, do not cut it to the very last minute. Get there at 9 o'clock, okay? When you cross the stage, you will get a diploma cover. Miss Kelly will be up there to shake your hand. There'll be some people from the school board up there to shake your hand. There will not be anything in the diploma cover, okay? So do not be surprised by that. It's just empty at that point. When we go back to the Bell Center at the very end, that's where you'll get your diploma, okay? So don't be shocked if you open it up and there's nothing in it. You'll get that at the very end. Once again, you're not allowed back onto the floor, so please don't leave anything out there. You are not going to bring like purses or anything out there with you like that, or backpacks. The Bell Center will be locked. There'll be some of your teachers will be back out there to make sure nobody's messing with anybody's stuff. But this is a formal ceremony, so you're not going to bring like a backpack or a purse with you. Okay? If there's something you really need, like maybe you have asthma or something like that, talk to me and I'll make sure that you have what you need. Okay? But for an hour, you're just going to leave your stuff back in the Bell Center. All right. Now, this part here is something new that I added. Some of you in here are not going to be able to graduate in May. That's okay. Whether you are just failing a class that you need to graduate right now, or maybe you just have too many credits to recover before graduation, whatever the case, that is okay, all right? I put together a list this weekend. I had about 190 names of people that, as far as I know, sound good for graduation. But then I had another like 50 or 60 that, at least right now, it's not looking like you're going to graduate in May. Okay? That is all right if that happens. What I want you to do is you are still going to get your checkout sheet. Okay? Your checkout sheet is still back there. I still want you to go through and talk to each of your teachers. But let's say your government teacher says, no, you're not going to pass. It's just not going to happen. What you need to do then is go see your counselor, make sure that they know what's going on, And then most likely, they're just going to tell you, all right, here's what I want you to do. You're going to go down to Flex. If you've never had a class in Flex, it's where we do credit recovery. If you fail a course, you go in there and you can retake that course or retake the parts that you need. You can start doing that as soon as Thursday. Okay? I'm guessing there's probably some of you in here that can probably get done with your classes before we are even done with school. Okay, last year I had 3 students that didn't get to do May graduation, but they still got done with everything and then were ready to go for summer graduation and didn't even have to go to summer school. Okay? I know in your mind that's not what you want to do, and that's not what your family wants. Your family wants you to participate at the NAP Center. But if you are not done, I can't have you participate there. You can participate in summer graduation. There's going to be last year was about 200 students graduated in the summer. It's at North High School on the dates in this presentation. It's August 10th. It's still a graduation celebration. Miss Kelly will be there celebrating you. It just won't be with the rest of your class right now here at the end of this week. So, if you fail a class that you need to graduate, see your counselor. They will get you hooked up with what you need to do in Flex, and then Mr. Avery, Miss Paradise, Miss Lloyd, Miss Frommel will help you as much as they can to get done before we are done with school. So if you are in that boat, you can still come to school. In fact, I want you to still come to school so that you get done early so you don't have to come back for summer school. Okay? So like I said, there's some of us in here that are in that boat, and that's okay. All right? So especially the last couple of years, everybody's plan is different. The most important thing is that you get done eventually. All right? Okay, in a few minutes, you are going to get a checkout sheet in the back. They are in alphabetical order, A through F, G through L, M through R, S through Z. Looks like this. The front page is just your class schedule. What you need to do is go through and talk to each of your teachers and say, hey, like, so for this person, their first class is with Miss Howard. Miss Howard, am I going to pass this class? Miss Howard will sign here. So this person will go through and get all their teachers to sign what their classes are. If you have some of your classes at Central, you do not really need to complete this through Central. We've probably already been in communication. If there's a class that you're passing or taking at Central that you must need for graduation, so don't worry about that. Okay? But this front page should be filled with signatures. If you have directed study, you do not need to get that signed. If you have release time, you do not need to get that signed. Okay? It's just your classes that you need to get signed. On the back of this, there is also a spot for your counselor to sign. So go talk to Mr. Dean, Ms. Levang, Ms. Tribling. They need to make sure that, number one, you have all of your classes done that you need to graduate, and number two, that you've done your senior survey. Many of you have already done that because we've had it in the last 2 meetings on a QR code. Then you will go see Miss Whitcott in the library. She's just going to check to make sure you don't have any library books out. Probably most of you do not. She'll sign on there. And then Mr. Winters, if you haven't met him, he's got dreads. He's in the library. He's going to sign that you have your computer, your charger, any hotspot returned. He's going to make sure that that's all good. Then you're going to go see Miss Fritz. Miss Fritz is right there in the back. She has the blonde hair over there. She's going to do all your fees. You also have a fee statement that shows how much that you owe. Okay? She needs to sign off that you have all of your fees paid. Then you're going to go see Miss DeGuy. She's back in the middle. She's going to, if you need transcripts, like if you're going to another school after this, she's going to sign off on that. The very last person that you come see is me. I am the last signature. These signatures have to go in order. So you have to do your classes first, then your counselor, then Ms. Whitcop, then Mr. Winters, then Ms. Fritz, then Mr. Gooey, and then you see me. If I'm busy, Ms. Kelly can sign it, or Ms. Danner can sign it, but I prefer that you come to see me. Okay? That's the biggest thing you need to know is I have to be the last person, and these have to go in order. Ms. Fritz cannot have you do your fees until she knows that you've had all your library books turned in. Okay? So they have to go in order. That's why they are numbered. All right. You can start working on this today. The only ask that I have is that if, like for instance, thank you. You've already had first period. Please, let's say you had Miss Howard first period. Please do not go up to Miss Howard's room right now and interrupt her class and say, Miss Howard, I need you to sign this. Okay? Your teachers still are teaching. They have people other than seniors. Please do not interrupt their class. Okay? You can wait until tomorrow morning and have Miss Howard sign this. All right? Please do not interrupt them. Just get it signed in order. Okay? All right. Last announcement I have is Co-Ray, if you are in here, I want you to come see me. You're not in trouble. I just need to talk to you. Miss Jury Reese asked me to talk to you. Okay? Any questions about the checkout sheet? So last reminders. Your last day of school is Wednesday. But if you are not going to pass a class that you need for graduation, you can still come to school. I just need you to talk to your counselor first in order to knock that stuff out. On Friday, 8 o'clock is when the breakfast is. 9 o'clock, you must be here to do graduation rehearsal, get your cap and gown, and then we'll walk through Hoover and Meredith. On Sunday, you all need to be there at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock at the Bell Center. The ceremony starts at 10 o'clock. We will probably be done about 11 o'clock. Okay, that's when we were done last year, right? Your sign-out sheet must be completed before you can get your cap and gown, before you can participate in graduation rehearsal. Go in order. Do your classes first. Then go see your counselor. Then go to the library, see Ms. Whitcop, Mr. Winters. Then go to the bookkeeper, Ms. Fritz. Then go to Mr. Gooey. Then you come see me. Okay? Here's what I'd like us, we still have plenty of time. I just like the last 5 rows. If you are in the last 5 rows, one of you all go up and start getting your checkout sheet.
Damn.
So
Do I have to do that?
Yeah, $92, my nigga.
No, I'm talking about.
This is all sports from middle school.
Something like, oh, thanks, Doc.
I owe them, bro.